RC, you're going first this time. Is it fair to put this loss on Lamar?
No, it's not. And I know people want me to come on here and say it's just and only his fault, but it's not. Now, is that interception a huge part of why they lost the game? Absolutely. He is not absolved of any fault, of any blame, but this is an organizational failure by the Baltimore Ravens. And here's why. It's hard to be upset with the way that the Baltimore Ravens have embraced Lamar Jackson. They've embraced him as a person. They've embraced his character. They've totally embraced his skill set. But what they haven't done is build him up in any way. Right? What they should do, they should take Greg Roman and they should take all of their offensive coaches and go sit them in Buffalo this offseason and let them talk to Brian Daboll. Let them talk to McDermott and see what did you do, what did you focus on to take Josh Allen from the dude he was to who he is. The first thing they're going to tell you is we got him Stephon Diggs. Dan Orlovsky talked about it this morning. Maybe you go get maybe you go get Allen Robinson. He needs a number one receiver. And then what you do is you get somebody to totally revamp the passing game, totally add some creativity to what they are doing. I am sitting at the house, and you heard Max mention Tony Romo earlier. I'm sitting at the house, and I'm calling every play. Run, pass, run, pass, because there's no creativity in formation, there's no creativity in motion, and there is no balance in what they are doing as a team. And so then now you put Lamar Jackson in a situation where the only drop back that the offensive line can block for is when he scrambles and makes a play. This team has no number one, they have no outlets, and they have in no way increased Lamar's opportunity to progress as a passer. And that's what we saw. And so until the Baltimore Ravens understand that, embrace that, and fix that, they'll find themselves in this position.
Ryan Clark, I apologize. Ryan Orlovsky, I have a question for you, sir. Who'd you pick to win this game?
I ain't never around the back of the end zone. You say what?
Who did you pick to win this game coming into the game?
The Baltimore Ravens.
I knew that. It was a rhetorical question. You picked. Now, everything that you just said about the Baltimore Ravens, did you know that coming into the game Saturday night, yes or no?
I knew that.
Right.
Here's what I expected.
Hold on. You knew it coming into the You're not just an astute football mind. You're not just a Super Bowl champion. You train football players. You get them in shape. You get them ready mentally, physically, emotionally. You're doing all. Okay? And you pick, and knowing football the way that you do, being the astute football mind that you are, knowing this roster, you picked the Baltimore Ravens. And now that they lost the game, and you were wrong and I was right, but you were wrong. Whoa. And now that you were wrong, now we want to engage in revisionist history. They lost because of this. They lost because of all the conditions you knew going into the game when you picked them. So now, what sense does that make that you would know this going into the game, pick them anyway, and to use it as an excuse as to why they lost, and ignore the 101-yard pick six that was thrown by Lamar Jackson?
First off, he had never thrown a red zone interception.
But he did that.
When they get down there, they
We only talk about this game.
Right?
We only talk about this game.
The Bills don't stop the run.
We're only talking about this game.
And defensively, they matched up perfectly. Right. Josh Allen ain't played great.
And Ryan, I'll give it to Max. I'll give it to Max with these last words. I'll give it to Max with these last words. Molly is my witness. I literally was on the air with Ryan Clark Friday.
Yeah.
Arguing the point. I believe in the Baltimore Ravens defense.
Yeah.
I believe in them. But I don't believe in the passing game of the Baltimore Ravens, who were dead last. I said the inclement weather, and you're ultimately going to force Lamar Jackson to throw.
It wasn't the weather.
And something's going to happen.
It wasn't even bad weather.
And the weather wasn't bad. Yeah. So I said you're going to have to throw it, and it's not going to happen.
A dead clock's right twice a day.
That's all I'm saying.
You're asking if it's fair to put the loss on Lamar. It is not fair.
Thank you,
It
Max.
is not fair to put the loss on Lamar.
It's not fair.
Lamar needed to be the reason they won. That it says on the screen, Stephen A., if you look on the lower third, fair to put loss on Lamar.
Who are you, dear Abby? What do you mean it's not fair?
It is.
It is fair.
It is. I'm answering the question. It is not fair to put the loss on Lamar. He needed to be the reason that they won. He clearly was not. But let me tell you why they lost. And Ryan's right. They're predictable. What works in the regular season when coaches don't have enough time just to focus on you, prepare for you, is different than the playoffs. Coaches, we've seen it time and again now in the playoffs against the Ravens, can take the run away from the Ravens. So now what do you have? And they were playing a cover 4, like they weren't going to give up anything deep. Lamar had to be better on his reads, right? And they needed to attack the flats better and all that kind of stuff. But that's one part of the equation. Let me tell you what else is there. There isn't a dynamic playmaker. There's just not. I mean, apologize to
we knew
to
that
Hollywood
before
Brown.
Saturday's
What I've
game.
been saying, he needs to
Don't
be
apologize to him. He keep
Hollywood,
talking.
not West Covina Brown. Now, that's one. 2, the offensive line. It was a problem, right? Like they couldn't hear. This is a fact, right? And it affected the cadence. Now, 3, the offensive line includes the center, who could not snap the ball. The center couldn't snap the ball, right? Like all those things
The center
are true.
couldn't center.
Lack of a playmaker meant that the so-called playmaker out there in the moment of truth were the remains of Dez Bryant. They actually trotted out the remains of Dez Bryant, who can't get any separation, to try to make a play at the end of the game. All those things are true. Lamar needs to be better. There's no question about it. But so does the entire team. The O-line, the playmakers have to get more talented. The coaching has to get more imaginative. It's a whole slew of things, not just Lamar.
He lost
No
the
question.
argument the second he said Ryan Clark was right. This ain't the day say Ryan Clark was right.
I can't
Not
believe.
today.
I can't believe.
Any other day but today. Any other day but today.
Is this why y'all brought me on here?
Oh my
Stephen
God.
A went 4 for 4.
we keep
He ain't going to
going?
let anyone forget about it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.